when a lot of people see somebody that's self-made, when a lot of people see somebody that had to get it on his own and grew up from nothing and had to create the right circumstances so that he can succeed and so he could thrive, people look at this person and say, oh man, only if I had money, I could do this for myself. Only if I had a little bit of this and a little bit of that, I could maybe help myself and get myself to a certain level where, well, what I'm here to tell you guys is not about the money. Yes, money is 100% important and it will allow you to amplify everything that you're doing and everything that you're already good at. However, I would start asking myself, Jose, what are you good at? The first thing that comes to mind is sales. I build my business from going door to door and cold calling on the phones relentlessly. Even when I started full time, right, and I decided to go full time as a real estate agent, I decided to take that leap because all I wanted to do was go all in into the vision and into the purpose that I believed in, which was real estate sales, right? So a lot of people are afraid of doing that because they don't want to make the level of commitment that it takes to be able to succeed and thrive in any business. And that's something that nobody can take away from you. So you sitting down and having that conversation with you and saying, okay, what am I good at? Opening up that journal and drafting up ideas of all the things that made you great, all the things that made you who you are. Now, again, if you're starting from scratch, right, and these ideas and these skills may have not been tested, the next thing that I can do is I can start to associate myself with people that are successful. I will start to associate myself with people that are thriving. How will I do that? Networking events. There are so many sites that you can go on right now. I bet you if you Google networking events, you'll find networking events in your area because the people that are hosting these events, probably the events that you want to go to, they're spending money advertising these events. So they're not hard to find. Also, the next thing that I would do is I would consistently educate myself. From where I'm at today, I have the education and I have the skills that I need to go back into the world and sell myself up to success. Climb up the ladder just because of the skills that I've earned. But nobody's seen the times where the world was dark. It was just me. Everybody was looking at me to perform. And the people that were laughing at me when I decided to get my real estate license because there's an 85-90% failure rate were saying, oh, Jose, I would never do that. Well, you know what? I decided to take that chance on myself because I was willing to do whatever it takes. I started to get myself around the right people, the people that were more successful than me. And I remember a very specific challenge that was given to me, and that was getting 100 contacts in one day. Now, the name of any business is lead generation, right? So if I'm going to pursue sales, which is a skill that I'm good at, again, going to the drawing board and writing down the strengths and the weaknesses that I have so that I can understand where I'll thrive more likely and in what environment I will do well at. Sales is something that I've now mastered, and I know that if I were to lose it all, again, I could sell myself back to success. So that specific challenge that I did, the 100 contacts in one day, allowed me to get in front of as many people as I needed, exchange information, exchange knowledge, exchange ideas, create relationships. And eventually these relationships ended up being leads, which ended up being transactions, which ended up being referrals, which ended up making me a lot of fucking money. Now, nobody saw the time where I was standing in Home Depot handing out cars to everybody, getting kicked out by the security because I was making the solar panel guy look bad, right? Nobody talks about these things because once you make it, they look at the result and they say, wow, man, you're doing so well. However, it's all the grit, it's all the things that you have to do every single day. The rejection, being able to put your ego to the side, right? Because if I were to lose everything, I'm carrying the person that I built, right? I built this ego because now I'm worth something. Now I'm a somebody. Well, if I lost everything, I would be a nobody. The only thing that I would be is what's happening up here. And this is the only tool that I can use to guide me to success. So that I would use this tool properly. I would put my ego to the side and I would go out into the world and hustle. I would grind. I would do the hard work. It's okay for you to bust your ass for a couple of years to then capitalize off of the delayed gratification. You see, so many people want it easy now because they see all these people making millions of dollars off of CryptoPump or making money from laying down in their bed, typing a couple of buttons on their keyboards. Well, listen, life is not that fucking easy. It's really fucking not. You have to be able to put in the work to be able to build that character that nobody's going to be able to take away from you, even if you lose everything. Another thing that I would do is avoid every fucking distraction. No parties, no vacation, no clubs, no distractions. I would zero in on my purpose. It's purpose over pleasure. Anything that doesn't contribute to my goals, anything that doesn't contribute to my purpose is out the window, right? I'm not friends with anybody by association or because I've known them for X amount of times. No, we're going to be friends with each other because we're here to build something. We're here to do something different. We're not here to just entertain each other, go home and feel drained thinking, oh wow, we accomplished nothing. And then wake up the next day, try to avoid the pain by scrolling through Instagram and looking at all the distractions, women, this. So many things are happening here to take your attention away from you so that you can stay in the same position and not elevate. Well, you know what? Avoid distractions. Avoid all the things that are there to take away your energy because you're going to need that to invest it in you. Invest that energy by surrounding yourself with the right network. Invest that energy in going to the gym and staying in shape and staying focused, right? That's another thing. When I started in my journey, I would go to the gym every single morning at 5 a.m. And you know what? Even at the gym, that's a great place to network. I remember one time I met somebody that had like the top 20 accountant firm in the United States of America, right? He was telling me, right? I was wearing this sweatshirt and it said, ask me about real estate. And the guy noticed my sweatshirt. He was like, hey, that's a cool sweatshirt. I never seen anybody do that before. Boom, I started a conversation with him, exchanged information, and then we've kept in touch. But I wouldn't have made that connection if I didn't go out there and associate myself with people and said, hey, this is what I do. And that's another thing that I would add on to it is documenting the journey. I actually received a deal that made me 7 figures from documenting my journey. I was helping somebody sell a property. They saw my sign and I sent them an email because we were communicating back and forth. They were interested in the property. I sent them an email and they saw my YouTube handle on the email signature of the email that I sent him. He clicked on it and he was like, oh wow, this guy invests in real estate. After that, we had a conversation and we ended up being business partners. However, these stories are not always recognized and are not always said because this is what happens behind the scene when you're putting in the work. This is where the money is created, right? Or you can say manifested. If you want to attract the right opportunities, even if you're starting from scratch, you actually have to put in effort. And when you're going to these networking events, one of the things that set me apart from everybody else, well, number one, I was the youngest guy there. I was like 18, 19, speaking with everybody with enthusiasm. Because enthusiasm sells. Enthusiasm is magnetic. That is what's going to attract people towards you, right? So I know I'm good at sales, right? You may be good at affiliate marketing. You may be good at training people in the gym. You may be good at something, right? However, the one skill that will benefit you for the rest of your life is sales. Because no matter what business you enter, you're always going to have to sell yourself. I would get good at sales no matter what I do, right? Even if it's marketing, even if it's copywriting, because what are you doing when you're marketing and copywriting? You're still selling, right? So I would go out there and sell. I would go out there and make contacts. I would go out there and stay active. I wouldn't stay idling. I wouldn't stay not taking action or getting a fucking job at McDonald's and wasting my time. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out into the world and see what kind of value I could provide to the world. That's what I would do. And again, you know, you could say that I'm in high ticket sales because I sell real estate, right? I make a commission off of every piece of real estate that I sell. So I would also look into, okay, what can I sell? What problems can I solve? And how much money is it worth in the market? How can I scale this, right? And again, making connections is very, very important because from the conversations that you have, be inspired by new ideas that then you can go ahead and unfold, study, look into, and possibly develop businesses or opportunities that you never knew you would have had if you didn't have a conversation with a complete stranger. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. Do the things that are gonna rattle you inside a little bit because from those uncomfortable experiences, that's where you're going to witness all the growth. That's where you're going to witness all the opportunities that you weren't able to perceive because you're not able to perceive them until you put yourself in those situations. And the problem with today's world is that everybody wants to avoid all the things that are going to help them grow. So place yourself in the moments of uncertainty, right? Place yourself in the unknown and allow yourself to adapt and evolve and grow and soak in all the energy and be enthusiastic about life. Because I promise you, if you take this approach, I mean, even if I was speaking to the self that lost everything, right? You'll get it back tenfold, right? And that's be the advice that I would give to myself, right? Stay in shape. Go out into the world and get uncomfortable. Make new connections and speak to absolute strangers. Network with people, right? Avoid distractions. Incorporate the right habits like journaling, right? That's a great habit to have because especially as you go through your days, every day counts. And when you can group all of your ideas together, all the things that happen throughout that day, you're more likely to take out the nuggets and the things that you've learned throughout your days and put them in a specific space where you can revisit and allow yourself to carry the knowledge that you're accumulating as you're living through this journey, right? Documenting the journey. That's another big one, right? Don't be afraid of putting yourself out there, even like what I'm doing right now with this camera. I'm putting myself on social media. I'm speaking to this rectangular object. However, I know that by me doing this, number one, is making me a better speaker because every time I'm practicing my communication, it's making me more conscious of the words that I'm saying. It's making me more conscious of the things that I'm doing. And it's also holding me accountable because I'm happy and proud that I can look back into all of the videos that I've recorded and that I've put up, you can say on any of the social media platforms and see my growth and say, wow, I've come this far. And you know what? Now I can also have that piece of document and send it to anybody and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I've done. Because we're not here to hide from anybody. We're here to put in the work. We're here to provide value. We are here to be noticed. Any business wants attention. If you start a business, the first thing that you want is attention. Why? Because you're generating leads. You want to make a sale. How are you going to make a sale if nobody notices you? People have to know you exist. People have to know that you're there. So don't be afraid of putting yourself out there. It's part of the game. Get uncomfortable. Do the things that are going to make you grow, even if you don't like them, even if you don't feel like it. Because in the long run, it always pays off. That is what I will do if I lost everything. And I will do that consistently until I regain everything back plus some. It's not about the money that you'll gain along the way because you will make a lot of money. But it's about the skills, the values, the principles, the relationships that you get to build along the process. Because these are the things that are going to benefit you for the rest of your life, even if you were to lose everything.